Hello gamers, Duma here. Today I have one of the more requested updates, and that is the One Bar Bow Warden or Bowden. This one is a monster compared to Bowdens from back in the day. This uses no trial gear with just one bar and can parse just under 104k DPS and has a really flexible bar to customize for personal needs without a ton of damage loss. You can completely crush veteran group dungeons and participate in mini trials as well. This one isn't too complicated, it shouldn't take too long, and we're just going to dive right in. The written guide is also up and available for you now over at the GAMEROOM.tv. Let's go. Any stamina-based race works great, Dark Elf being the most damage, all 64 points into health, and we're using the Thief Mundus with Lavafoot Soup for maximum DPS, or Artaeum Takeaway Broth for a balance of health and DPS, or you can use the cheaper version of Dubious Camorn Throne with minimal DPS loss. Then we use tripods for our potions. For our gear, we're using the dungeon sets of Pillar Nern and Aegis Caller, two fantastic bleed DPS sets. They are both medium sets, so any piece can go anywhere as long as both 5 sets are active. We topped it off with a light slime crawl helm, Oaken Soul, and a bow. Standard DPS traits and enchants here. CPS here for you as well. Exploiter would be for maximum DPS while parsing, but you can also use Biting Aura for things like dungeons for a bit more consistent damage in live content. And then Reaving Blows for more heals, which I'll show you in just a moment. Skills are here for you as well. I'll break them down quickly along with the rotation and some alternative suggestions. For maximum DPS, we're running Trap, Arctic Blast for solid AoE and an area stun, which also doubles as a heal if you step away from enemies a bit. Our spammable Lethal Arrow, which gives us close to 100% uptime on the poison status effect. Winter's Revenge, another great AoE and crowd control for groups of enemies. Sub-Assault, which dictates our rotation, tethering us to a count of 6, which we'll go over here in just a moment. And Bleed Bear Ulti. With Sub-Assault, you want to try to maintain a count of 6 the entire time you are parsing or in combat, meaning you press Sub-Assault and then have 5 globals to work in damage, mostly with your spammable, and then repeat. Opening for a parse looks like this. You start just a hair away from the dummy so Arctic Blast doesn't trigger combat, then Sub-Assault as you move forward, then Trap, Bear Ulti, Winter's Revenge, and 2 arrows. It's a little flexible here with Trap, Ulti, and Winters, so don't sweat it at all if you get them out of order. The speed at which you use those 3 are more important to get 1 ability per global out. Then you're on a static rotation of Sub-Assault followed by 5 arrows, refreshing Trap, Arctic, and Winters as they come available in place of an arrow, but never breaking the Sub-Assault followed by 5 ability pattern. Then you use your ultimate on cooldown. I have this opener for you at the end of the video as well, with a bit of the parse to see in action if that helps you. We are 100 miles above content like dungeons here, so we can scale this back a bit for a more enjoyable setup. You really don't need Trap on this setup for vet dungeons. I would bring in Predator for major expedition, and you get a nice little defensive buff with it as well. Alternatively, if you're having sustain issues, you can bring in Netch. If you're using Arctic Blast and Winter's Revenge to break up the flow of stam use, along with ulti on cooldown and rolling your potions, especially with the Bloody Renewal CP feeding you stam, but this is an option here just in case you still do. Another option I like to do when pugging dungeons on a Warden is bring in Green Lotus. Not only does it look awesome on the weapons, but you're also healing yourself and another player or 2 other players, just kind of adding a bit of support value to the group. And then if you combine that with Reaving Blows, you're just being flooded with heals passively while doing damage. If you prefer a big emergency heal, you can also use the other morph of Arctic. As long as you keep these 4 intact, you have these 2 spots for personal preference without torpedoing the damage too much. And there you go, dudes. Nice, simple, and quick. I hope you enjoy the build. If you try it out, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.
Yeah.